Welcome viewers to the Founder Talk Show. My guest on the show is Lieutenant Colonel Monish Ahuja, founder of PRESPL. It's an acronym for Punjab Renewable Energy Systems. He is spearheading the biomass movement in India, and for his work, he has been awarded with the Biomass Energy Man of the Year Award. Welcome, Colonel Monish. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Major Sunil. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise, Colonel Monish. Let's start by understanding what PRESPL is all about. I see that it is in the biomass energy sector. I would like to know about it as to what PRESPL does. What is it all about?
Sure. So thanks for that question. PRESPL is a company which is working with solving a problem statement, which is the open field burning of biomass. So we have been in the last decade hearing about Delhi going black because of rampant burning of rice paddy straw in the fields of Punjab, Haryana, Western UP. And similarly, we hear about Delhi going black because of being the capital, but farm agri residue gets burnt post the harvesting by farmers because of lack of any value for it. And this is a health hazard, this is an environment hazard, pan-India and globally as well. So taking that as a problem statement, PRESPL works as a biomass supply chain management company, and we are able to aggregate this farm agri residue, bring it to warehousing, bring it to collection centers or depots, and then either supply it to industries which can offtake or captive use it in-house with projects that we do, and take this into a forward integrated value chain of bioenergy. So we are able to bring a complete circular economy, holistic solution to utilize this renewable form of energy and produce energy as well and sell it to various clients that we are engaged with. So it kind of fulfills two primary aspects. One is utilization of renewable energy connected to the farmer, and hence it increases farmer income and produces decentralized renewable energy. The other aspect is the socio-economic aspect, the environment and health aspect, where it mitigates the open field burning. And the last but not the least, and I think that's the USP of our company, where we fit into the Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, as the Honorable Prime Minister further added. And as a company, we are able to deliver all of it.
That's amazing. I mean, there are so many boxes that you're checking at this point in time. Environment, providing employment to the soldiers, and also meeting the energy needs. There are a lot of check boxes. How did it all start? I mean, how did you come about with this concept? How did you get into this venture?
So, Major Sunil, I'm an entrepreneur by default. It's not by design. Like most of us Fauji's, when we start off, so I went to NDA after school, and then you come to know what NDA is about, or you join the army and you come to know what the army is about, or defense forces. Similarly, I moved out on a premature retirement in 2010, and I joined my uncle in his business of biomass, and he at that point of time, path breaking, was a pioneer where he set up the first biomass independent power plant on 100% rice paddy straw in the state of Punjab. And my mandate was to assist him and support him in running this power plant, supporting with the rice straw management and all. And in this space, it dawned upon me pretty fast that the problem statement was not about the technology, but how do you manage 1 lakh tons of rice paddy straw outside the plant? And once we recognize that as a problem statement, I think my late uncle, Mr. Vinny Ahuja, was kind enough. He allowed me to set up PRESPL and work in this space to start mitigating this problem statement of being able to get biomass in the right quantity, right quality, and right pricing as an input to generate that electricity. So that's how PRESPL came into being. And in the course of time, I think it pulled wherein I was also mandated to invest some capital in the equity in the company, which I did. And it's a leap of faith. So I put capital, and I became a promoter or an entrepreneur or a shareholder by default. And with the passage of time, I did move out. I branched out independently in about 2014-15, and hence that's where the second avatar or journey of PRESPL happened. So the start was courtesy my uncle, and I was fortunate to learn business through him. He guided me, and then I was fortunate again to meet a lot of big entrepreneurs, businessmen, and in conversations with them, we could at least I could learn about things to be looked at where business is concerned.
Coming from the transition from being a soldier to an entrepreneur is not easy. I've done myself one. What kind of challenges and what kind of preparation did you have to do? I understand you got a lot of support from your uncle when you started, but from a thought process, how did you do that mental transition that you wanted to be from a soldier to being an entrepreneur?
So I'll correct a couple of things here. In the entrepreneurship journey, unfortunately, my uncle was not there, so I was alone. The support which I received was in trying to understand business, in the sense he had experience of 45, 50 years of business. So that's the support I got to get that kind of learning which you get. The, the journey from a defense officer, a Fauji, to entrepreneurship is, I think, really difficult, as you put it. It continues to be difficult. The problem statements are new each day. And the good part is, I think our teachings go back to be able to solve problems. So we receive problems every day, we analyze it, and we kind of solve them to move ahead. So that's the connect, I could say, between a soldier and an entrepreneur. The second part is entrepreneurship is all about being able to manage capital effectively, manage money effectively, either your own, or if you can get investors to back you to do your business. Uh, Most of us ex-defense people do not have the support of capital. Likewise for me as well. My father was in the army as well. So, so raising capital, managing capital, raising finance, structured finance, equity, debt, working capital, all of this is something that you need to learn. And that's where I think for me it was learning on the job. And we are where we are as a company today. I would say reasonably successful in surviving the entrepreneurship journey.
That's interesting. So as PRESPL, you are definitely contributing towards, the environment. What kind of measurable impact you have done? Is there something that data that you can share as a company?
Sure, absolutely. So, all that we do fits into all the tick boxes that are the flavor of the day to day. What we call as EHSG: environment, health, social security, governance, sustainability. These are all the mantras of business today. And global capital is actually chasing companies which are tick box on the EHSG aspects. The business of PRESPL, fortunately, the way it is built, is all about EHSG. It's all about, like you said, rural entrepreneurship, job creation, waste to wealth, open field mitigation, so climate change mitigation. We replace fossil fuel in terms of coal, furnace oil, diesel, petcoke with a renewable resource, which is biomass. And this entire linkage, I'll give you some numbers since you asked. Uh, every every kg of biomass that we use, in an equivalency, we displace X amount of fossil fuel. And once we displace the fossil fuel, we reduce NOx and SOx, so nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides, which are primarily the PM 2.5 pollutants which go into the atmosphere, replacing that by using biomass. So that's one aspect. The second part is the energy, and India is an energy deficient country. We import almost 88-90% of our energy. So here is a source of energy which is indigenous, which is renewable, which is from a waste stream, and hence you need not import energy in the form of coal or barrels of crude to process it and then bring it to those rural parts. We have energy in the rural parts which can actually give you all these forms of energy. So you can do electricity, you can do thermal heating, cooling, you can do densification of it, you can do biofuels, so compressed biogas, you can do LPG replacement, you can do ethanol, you can do drop-in fuels, which is petrol, diesel, aviation fuel of BS6 standard. All of it can be done from biomass. And India has, the government numbers are 500 million metric tons of biomass, which we burn or waste annually. And if you look at that conversion, and hopefully we will convert in India, that's what Honorable Prime Minister's vision is there, and it's happening. In the next decade or so, we could actually reduce our import by almost 20%. So that's how impactful it can be or it will be. The other part is, now these are third-party audited numbers which I share. So for every 1,300 tons of biomass that we use annually, replacing natural gas, which is the cleanest of the fossil fuel, we mitigate or reduce 1,300 tons of CO2 to be put in the atmosphere. So now, I've given you an analogy, so it's 1:1 ratio. So you take 100 tons of biomass replacing 100 tons equivalency of, or let's say natural gas usage for the same energy, you are reducing 100 tons of CO2 per annum. Now just multiply it by 500 million metric tons. Of India's SDG targets, all of India's CO2 mitigation targets, all of India's fossil fuel, which is primary scope 1 burning that we do, gets mitigated by only use of biomass. So it's humongous. But we work across multiple states in India. We are in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, West Bengal, expanding to Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Northeast states. So we are a pan-India company. We are headquartered out of Mumbai. And being in Maharashtra headquartered here, the name is still Punjab Renewable. But we have a pan-India presence. We have currently 275 plus full-time employees spread across various geographical locations. And uniquely, the hierarchy of management and vertical hierarchy also are, most of the people are ex-Fauji's. So we have people from Army, Navy, Air Force across the hierarchy of PRESPL.
That's very commendable. For your work, you've been awarded with multiple awards. Which is the latest one, that you've been?
So, something which is very dear. Yes, every year, multiple awards, because, the business model is such that wherever the business is showcased, you are bound to win awards because you are able to deliver the key aspects that are required. But something which is very dear, and I think is a global recognition, is we got announced as the National Mission Innovation Champion in 2019, where there are 30 countries which are part of Mission Innovation. And this business model of PRESPL was, and we were not aware, we didn't participate in that. Government of India actually took our business model and presented it there. And the award got announced in Vancouver, Canada. And I learned about it when somebody tagged my Twitter handle at the award function that this is the award. So that is very dear. And more recently in 2020, we got awarded by the UNDP for being a company which is delivering on sustainable development goals. And that's an award which got announced in the state of Punjab for the kind of projects that we own and we do. So that's again very dear, because you're actually delivering or you're actually doing what is good for sustainability, environment, people, and making money, right? So you are able to do that in this format. And I think these two are the most recent and most dear to us.
Many congratulations for for being recognized not just in India but across the globe. And we wish to see PRESPL continue its march towards achieving that India's SDG goals. Thank you very much, Colonel Monish, for joining us, and we look forward to hosting you on some of our other shows. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. And on the occasion of Kargil Divas today, my salute and my gratitude to all the soldiers, all the men, and all the young officers that we lost in the Kargil war. And I think it is what we do. If we can even do a iota of what they have done for this country, I think we are very fortunate. Jai Hind, thank you so much.
Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Thank you very much.